We are bringing enough electricity to Kigoma. We are bringing enough electricity to Kigoma so people can trade, investors to come. I've inspected the port. Progress is good. But as I was coming in, I was not happy by what I saw. TARURA should help you construct the road coming to this place.
Wasaidie TARURA kujenga barabara ile inayoingia.
Tunaifungua Kigoma kwa upande wa usafirishaji wa eneo la baharini.
Up Kigoma in sea transport or the lake because Kigoma shares a border with Congo and Congo is one of our biggest clients. So we are constructing a ship to transport goods between Kigoma and Congo.
Shinyanga, Mwanza, Simiyu and Dodoma have been mentioned as regions more affected by drought in the country. The situation has been attributed to, in large part, to human activities at water sources as well as destruction of natural forests.
Na shughuli mbalimbali za kibinadamu za wanajamii katika harakati za kujipatia maisha yao ya kila siku ikiwemo uandaji ama ufunguaji wa mashamba mbalimbali, uchomaji wa misitu kwa matumizi mbalimbali, na matokeo yake imetokea uharibifu wa misitu ambao kwa takwimu za mwaka huu 2022 ni zaidi ya hekta 460 za misitu zimeteketea kutokana na shughuli mbalimbali za kiuchumi za kibinadamu.
Kwa wanajamii wenyewe, kwa taifa na hata kwa kidunia. Kwa sababu sasa hivi tunaona kuna kilio kikubwa ambacho dunia nzima imekumbwa nalo ambalo ni mabadiliko ya tabia nchi. Kwa hiyo kuendelea kuharibu misitu au kuharibu mazingira kwa ujumla kunapelekea athari kubwa. Tunaona wanaoathirika zaidi ni wale wananchi.
The Prime Minister of Tanzania, Kassim Majaliwa, has visited and inspected Namtumbo District Hospital that is being built at a cost of 7 billion shillings, where he expressed dissatisfaction with the construction at the hospital, whereby he also directed all substandard doors placed be removed and replaced.
Funga mlango uone. Funga wewe mwenyewe. Engineer kwa. Acha wewe usisukume wewe, funga tu mlango. Funga mlango. Acha. Funga mlango. Haufungiki. Huo ndo mlango usiofungika. Nimeenda kuangalia majengo ambayo bado hatujaanza kuyatumia. Pale sijaridhika. Milango yote ni ya hovyo.
I've inspected buildings that we've not yet started to use. I'm not satisfied because the doors are terrible, and I've instructed that all must be removed and replaced with doors with district status. You cannot have doors that you're not able to close. The technician is nowhere to be found, but we shall meet during the staff meeting.
Lakini nikuthibitishie lile agizo lako la kwanza.
Your instruction to bring back the doctor who was here previously will be carried out. I've instructed the President's Office, Regional Administration and Local Government's Office, and have informed me that he will be here before Friday.
Vile vile waonyeshe upendo hata ule ukaribu wa watoto hasa wadogo wanapoumwa.
They must care for young children and make it a priority. They care for those who are well off, and those who are not are left with crying babies.
Wanabaki na wazazi ambao wanahudumia watoto wanalia, wanazidiwa mpaka muda ule, inabidi watoto wapewe sana kipaumbele.
The task force overseeing the exercise to clean rivers in Dar es Salaam in order to remove trash and unclog river pathways has been required to bring together residents from both sides of Tabata Kinyerezi and Ruaga Kipawa in order to resolve the differences that caused conflict in implementation of the task.
Mjadiliane na wadau wote wa pamoja, ikiwemo hata wale ambao watu wanaosafisha, wote wako pamoja. Mjadiliane kwa kina mwenendo tulikotoka na tulipo, nini kifanyike sahihi, ndani ya siku 4. Baada ya siku 4 nipate ripoti ya kikosi kazi. Lengo langu kubwa ofisi yetu ni kwamba kwanza kusikiliza malalamiko, lakini pili kwenda kutunza mazingira Imani yangu baada ya taarifa hiyo mtaokaa pamoja mniletee taarifa ofisi ya makamu wa rais. Ndani ya siku 5 nataka nipate taarifa hii imekamilika.
Maelekezo yako haya watakavyotoa taarifa wataalamu, tunaamini kwamba ni ripoti ambayo itazingatia maslahi ya pande zote mbili, na mimi ni kuhakikishia tu Mheshimiwa Waziri tutayasimamia na tutafuatia kwa karibu hii taarifa iweze kufikia mapema iweze.
Ni mkoa wa Dar es Salaam. Kwa hiyo takribani tuna zaidi ya mwaka mmoja tukifanya zoezi hili. Na tulianza kama pilot kwa maana ya kuteua sehemu 5 ambazo zilikuwa zina changamoto.
Her Majesty Queen Maxima of the Netherlands is in Tanzania for a 2-day visit that is aimed at supporting the government and private sector to increase access to financial services and the efficient use of money. In her first day of her visit in Kilimanjaro region, Queen Maxima, who is here in her role as UN Secretary General's Special Advocate for Inclusive Finance for Development, visited a local farmers group in High District and inspected the development of various maternal health projects before traveling to Dar es Salaam.
Still, we have a lot of work to do with the latest figure. So I hope that in the next 2 days, we'll be having these conversations to actually make that possible.
Mpaka sasa tumeweza kutoa huduma ya bima ya kilimo kwa wakulima zaidi ya 150,000 Tanzania.
We provided agricultural insurance to 150 farmers in Tanzania and have provided cover to various crops such as maize, sunflower, rice, tobacco, cotton, etc. One thing that has made the Queen happy is to come up with a plan to help small-scale farmers who are many have access to agricultural insurance.
Tumeandaa product nzuri sana kwa ajili ya kukata.
We have a good product on agricultural insurance, which in case there is too much rain and farmers don't get any harvest, it is there.
And the government has begun to take action and sell food products in some parts of the lake zone with high price inflation at a lower price as part of a move to address the inflation of food prices.
We've started to sell food in districts where the price of maize has gone up significantly. We are supplying Geita, Sengerema, and very soon we shall take it to Ukerewe and Bunda. We will be looking at areas where the price is too high. The government will supply maize to sell at a price lower than market price. This is the government's responsibility and not to close borders, which will lead to farmers incurring losses. The ministry has begun to work with your union commission, and as the minister, from the directive I've received from Honorable President, we must get to a point in Tanzania where we will have Tanzanian Cooperative Bank, and let me promise you that it will happen. Until September, there was 11.55 billion owed from savings and credit unions by its employees. We've been addressing it, but it keeps recurring year after year. It is how they can use savings and credit unions to access opportunities in agriculture, trade, industry, and other areas of investment.
Tanzania Wildlife Management Authority Tower has promoted 149 soldiers and 90 officers of the force, where they were also reminded to ensure they maintain strength, professionalism, discipline, and dedication in implementing their duties.
Tawa ni taasisi imetapakaa nchi nzima, ina majukumu magumu.
Tower is spread throughout the country and has a lot of responsibilities, but with few workers. And CC alone cannot change the institution. It is changed by people. If you see someone acting inappropriately, tell him. Let us tell each other the truth and not be afraid, which tarnishes all of us.
Dhamira au dira ya
The objective of the Ministry of Tourism and Natural Resources is to make sure available resources help us, the current and future generations, so we protect resources for all our benefits. So I believe through this promotion, you will add us more people to help in fulfilling our responsibilities.
The Vice President at the World Bank for East Asia and Pacific, Victoria Kwakwa, while in Washington, D.C., United States, and bidding farewell to the Tanzanian delegation that took part in the annual World Bank and International Monetary Fund meeting that was led by Minister of Finance and Planning. Ngulu Nchemba has commended the government of Tanzania under the leadership of Samia Suluhu Hassan for making key changes in the economy.
And we're seeing widening fiscal deficit. You know, your fiscal deficit is about 3.5% of GDP. So I was asking the minister, how did they do this miracle? It's truly impressive. And we want to encourage you and to urge you to continue the prudent macroeconomic management. And that fiscal policy and monetary policy also are well coordinated to safeguard the gains. You know, inflation really is a regressive tax. It hurts the poorest the most. You know, so all the efforts that you're doing to fight inflation is really appreciated, and also manage your fiscal well. Very, very much appreciated. So warm congratulations. And we hope we can share the example of Tanzania with other countries as well.
And that's all for the national news. International news is next. In international news, the President of Kenya, William Ruto, has assured that he will work with all leaders from all political parties for the benefit of the country, especially after the general elections, which were highly competitive.
Niwahakikishie ya kwamba mimi niko tayari kufanya kazi na viongozi wenu wote. Wale waliochaguliwa pande zote, nafasi ya kushindana tumemaliza. Sasa nafasi tuko nayo ni kuungana, tuwafanyie kazi hawa wananchi waliotuchagua. And I want to commit to the people of Kajiado County that ambayo sisi wote tutajivunia kuwa wananchi wa taifa letu la Kenya.
At least 3 people have been killed in northern Venezuela after another landslide swept away vehicles, trees and huge boulders, destroying everything in its path. Here's the story.
Landslide in El Castano, a neighborhood in the town of Maracay, about 80 kilometers west of the capital, Caracas, was caused by intense rain and flooding and came about a week after more than 50 people died in a similar incident in a central Venezuelan town. Locals shared videos of trees, big rocks and cars being dragged by the current of mud and water that left more than 50 houses damaged. Responders worked through the night to clear mud and rocks from the road, with lights from vehicles illuminating the worksite as the area was left without electricity.
And escalated attacks are causing massive blackouts across Ukraine, with smoke rising on outskirts of the city during a Russian missile attack as their invasion of Ukraine continues in Kyiv.
Little more than a week, Russian forces have destroyed a third of Ukraine's power stations in repeated attacks targeting the war-torn nation's energy infrastructure, according to President Volodymyr Zelensky. He added there was no space left for negotiations with President Vladimir Putin's regime. Officials in several regions of Ukraine, including Kiev, reported power cuts after a new round of attacks on Tuesday hit energy facilities. Kiev Mayor Vitaly Klitschko called on Ukrainians to save electricity as much as possible and avoid using appliances with high energy consumption.
And that is all for the international news. Business news follows shortly. Now in business news. Tanzania Private Sector Foundation, TPSF, has said the main challenges faced by female entrepreneurs in the country includes inability to grow their businesses as well as being unable to find markets for their products, which has hindered their personal and national economic growth.
Unakuta mtu anatengeneza product, anatengenezea jikoni, anaendelea hivyo hasogei kwamba.
You find someone making a product in the kitchen and starts up a factory. Let us get women who started to make products who now own a factory.
Tuna wanawake wanaowakilisha wanawake wenzao.
There are women representing other women in training in Chicago from the 23rd to 26th of October. All these are efforts to enable women and the youths to have access to the markets.
Tanzania Revenue Authority, TRA, through their Taxpayers Education Campaign, have urged entrepreneurs to use their campaign to give their opinions on how the tax and business environment can continue to be improved, with the aim of continuing to foster a good relationship between the government and entrepreneurs.
I'm asking you to cooperate with us. This is not a tour to make an arrest. It is not an enforcement tour either, but an education tour. So use this opportunity to ask for information and tell us about your grievances so we can provide solutions. What we can resolve, we shall do it here. The whole team will be here. So I'm asking you to give them an opportunity to speak with you. They want to help us to do business more efficiently and understand taxation.
Over 700 people with varying degrees of vision impairment are commemorating International White Cane Safety Day and will take part in a trade exhibition for goods run by the group and others in the community that will take place in Manyara region and is expected to have over 1,000 people attending.
The region, working with the Prime Minister's office, the Society for the Blind and other stakeholders, have finished preparations ready for the day. Honorable guest of honor is expected to be Honorable Kassim Majaliwa, the Prime Minister of United Republic of Tanzania.
Maadhimisho haya ni matokeo ya athari ya vita kuu ya pili ya dunia.
This celebration is in remembrance of the Second World War, which had such an impact, leading to an increase in the number of people with disabilities.
That's where we leave off with business news. Sports is next. Now in sports. The national under-17 girls national team, Serengeti Girls, of this evening moved forward to the quarterfinals of the World Cup in India after a 1-1 draw with Canada left them in second place in their group behind Japan. Tanzania will next play Colombia. And the young Africans have been drawn against Tunisian side Club Africain in the CAF Confederation Cup in a draw that took place on Tuesday, October 18th. Yanga, who were eliminated from the Champions League by Sudanese side El Hilal, will play the first leg in Dar es Salaam on November 2nd before the return leg in Tunis on November 9th.
Young Africans ni kuhakikisha afya ya wanamichezo ambao ni sehemu kubwa ya wateja wa klabu ya Young Africans, afya zao zinaimarika. Na kuimarika kwa afya zao Moja, kwanza ni kupata elimu sahihi ya kuhusu afya yao binafsi.
And 5 tennis players have failed to travel to Zambia to take part in the Tennis Open that is set to begin at the end of this week in Lusaka, Zambia, due to insufficient funds for the trip.
Mchezaji kabisa inahitaji mtu uwe kama na dola mfukoni dola 700-800 kiuchezaji kabisa, yani usio na mawazo, kwa sababu kwenye michezo hii inatakiwa una pocket money ya kutosha, unacheza kwa kujiamini, sio unacheza kwa kufikiria. Hilo ndilo muhimu zaidi kwa mtu mmoja, hiyo inatakiwa. Na sisi tulikuwa tunaenda kama watu 5.
And the National Basketball League has entered into the 3rd day, with Pazi team winning 117-39 against the Homeboys team in Rukwa region.
Alafu timu yetu ni mpya, ndo mara ya kwanza inashiriki. Yani ndo mara ya kwanza kushiriki mashindano ya aina yoyote ile. Na vile vile most of our players ni wadogo, ndo mara ya kwanza wanashiriki mashindano. Kwa hiyo tunaamini uko mbele tutakuwa na nafasi nzuri.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, thank you for watching and have a good night.
At 9:30 and get updated on what is happening in Tanzania and around the world on political, social, and economic issues and events, without forgetting business and sports news. You can get it all right here on Capital News at 9:30 from Monday to Friday on Zuku Channel 067, Digitech Channel 1103, and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania.